Hi, and welcome to another edition of Spartan Sports Report. Andrea Van Meter to my right. I'm Ronnie Wiley, and we ended up football season. It's in the archives. It's in history books.
Kind of, not right. Right now,
Well, I guess so,
you can't say it's in the history books
you can't say
yet.
it because that's right. I forgot sectional coming
So,
up. What am I thinking? We should almost
Regular
start all
season,
over.
that's okay.
Yeah,
regular season is over. So
Yes.
we completed week 9, Friday night against Batesville.
Which was a fantastic game if you're a Spartan fan. They came off to a rousing start. We get some highlights later on. But that's in the rearview mirror. We're thinking about Shelbyville. That's a very winnable ball game.
Yep, we play Shelbyville at Shelbyville on Friday night,
Yeah.
the 17th. Nope. Yep, not the 17th, the 24th.
Yeah,
17th was last Friday.
Yeah,
oh my
right.
gosh,
See?
Ron, maybe
Yeah,
we
I
should
know,
have started over. So we are at Shelbyville on the 24th for a 7 o'clock game start for first round of sectional. So good draw.
Yeah.
Very winnable game, I
Yeah.
think. I think their record is very similar to us. They do play some bigger teams,
Right.
the Mount Vernons, the Greenfield Centrals, the
Right.
New Pals. But I think overall, man for man, looking at your roster, I think it's going to be a competitive ball game,
Yeah.
kind of like what Friday night was.
Yeah, it was a very competitive ball game. And after, if we win on Saturday, which we're gonna, they come home.
Yep. So if we win Friday night, we would come home the following Friday. So October 31st, so Halloween, we would be hosting a football game at Spartan Field. And so with sectionals, it's a little different. You can't have all of the before game stuff, after or middle of the game stuff. It's more of just come in and play football. So there's not a whole lot of I'm not going to say hoopla, but there's not a whole lot of extra stuff.
Right.
Your halftime is the 15-minute halftime, and it starts back up at the end of 15 minutes. And so, but it's nice to host. This is the first time since I've been here, that we've not hosted first round.
Yeah.
And I know prior to me coming in, they hosted every year for like 10 years. So this would have been the 15th if we would have hosted first round.
So the streak is over.
It is over, unfortunately. I'm like, we actually have bleachers now that are safe.
I know. That's what.
Let us host.
And speaking of that, just the positive reaction that I'm sure you're getting. We've been getting some from people talking about how they like the bleachers. We love it, going up to the press box, not having to run through the crowd. Very, very nice, and it's got to feel good that it's over.
It's different. Well, I don't know that it's over. There's still some things that need to be done.
See,
there were some. There were some things that were. It looks like it's over.
Right.
To the normal person, you'd be like, "That's done."
Yeah.
But there's still some things that need to be cleaned up, and there's some areas that we're still working on. But we were able to get them ready for people to sit in them, so we could have some games.
Yeah.
Still be. Over the next course of the next couple of months, there'll be some more things going on down there to hopefully make it look a little bit better.
Not that elevator,
Make them a little safer. No elevator. We're not putting an elevator in.
I need that.
Got to get your steps in. Got to get your steps in.
I need
Climbing stairs is good for you.
Climbing stairs is very good for you.
It's
just
people don't want to do it, but it is good for you.
No, but I do need to climb those steps. So again, the football last night or Friday night was looked like to be a blowout. Turned out to be a shootout at the end of the game. What was your take from it when you did?
Made
you
it interesting. Yeah, I did watch some of it. It's a little different when you host because you don't get to see as much as you do when you're away, especially with everything else going on. But started out strong. I thought the boys came out ready to play. I think we caught Batesville off guard. I'm not sure what they were expecting from us, but not what we gave them. 22-6 at one point.
Yeah, 26
in the game. Yep, 26-0 at one point. And so we kind of got in a lull though there at halftime. I think Batesville changed some things up defensively that we did not change up.
Right.
And I think that kind of stopped us a little bit, and that kind of made it back to a pretty even keel game. Tried to run the clock there at the end of the game. I don't know that the first one ran the way that we wanted it to because they immediately scored.
Yeah.
But we were able to score again and kind of seal in that win. So exciting senior night, last home regular season football game.
Got to say that.
Weather was beautiful. It didn't get crazy cold there at the end, so that was nice. Batesville traveled pretty well. They had quite a few fans in the stand. So overall, it was a positive. I thought it was a positive experience. A great way to get yourself sent off into first week of sectional. Absolutely, a win never hurts.
You're absolutely right. Spartan varsity football again wrapped up their regular season Friday night at home against conference rival Batesville, that we were just talking about. Both teams entered the matchup with an identical 3-5 record, and several key players sidelined by injuries on both sides of the field. Connersville controlled the first half with impressive offensive drives, but the Bulldogs rallied in the second half, narrowing the gap and setting up a thrilling fourth quarter, which was very thrilling.
It was.
Yeah.
It was kind of reminded me of Thursday's football game against JV game against Lawrenceburg. It was just kind of an even-keeled game, and we were the ones that came back in the second half with the JV football game, and so it makes for an interesting fourth quarter. Both games, they did. It was nice to watch.
The Spartans maintained possession down the stretch, running out the clock to secure a hard-fought 41-34 victory against the Bulldogs. Connersville finishes regular season 4-5 overall and 1-2 in conference play. Now, again, there were some people that were asking, well, 1-2 in conference play, but they lost 4 games. Of course, that's where football has the big and small school. Why does football have a big and small school in the conference, but the other sports do not?
Well, football only gets 9 games a season.
Oh, is that why?
So if you played all of your conference schools, you would get to play one extra team or 2 extra teams a year in your schedule. So instead of making it your entire conference and that's all you played all year, our conference decided to separate big and small. So that way you only had to play 3 other schools, and that would give you the opportunity to play other schools to fill in your 9 weeks. Most other sports get anywhere between 18 to 25 games, baseball 20 up to 26, 28 games a season. So football only has 9 playing once a week. So that's kind of why it pans out that way. But we do choose to play Rushville and Franklin County, even though we don't have to, as well as Greensburg. So those are 3 schools in our conference that are competitive, usually with us.
But they're the smaller
and they're
school.
Close, but they're in the smaller school division.
And we're in the larger school. And we're one of the smaller schools in 4A, is it?
You mean in our conference?
No. Well, yeah, in our conference.
So in our conference, we're underneath East Central. So it's East Central, then us. And then it would be Lawrenceburg and then Batesville.
I thought Lawrenceburg might be bigger.
And then Greensburg and Batesville, they just kind of bounce back and forth because they're very close with enrollment and they're close to get together. So then Greensburg, and then I believe it goes South Dearborn, Franklin County, Rushville.
Wow.
So.
Golden Bears of Shelbyville, they're 4-5. It should be a very tight, contested ball game this coming Friday at Shelbyville. Spartan Volley, what were you going to say anything?
Well, I was just going to say the ticket link I just posted, or I'm going to post, not just posted. I was in the process of posting the ticket link before it came to tape. But the ticket link for football, by the time you watch this, will be live. Tickets are $8. You can prepay through the EventLink app through IHSAA. To get them ahead of time, so you don't have to wait in line, or you can pay $8 cash at the gate. And so again, kickoff will be at 7 o'clock on Friday.
Friday, 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. Yep.
Spartan Volleyball concluded their season Saturday in a sectional play against Jay County after dropping the first 2 sets 25-13 and 25-14. The Spartans battled back to take the third set 25-23, but ultimately falling in the fourth 25-17. Connersville ends the season with a 13-17 overall record and 2-5 in conference play.
They played well. Yeah. I attended that game on Saturday, and defensively, we were getting balls up that in the past games this year they weren't going to get up. But between Serenity Penton, Maggie Spurlock, and Maddie Harrison, they did not let things drop in that back row. They played tough. Offensively, we just couldn't get it going. We had some kills here and there. Kendall came up with quite a few. Sophie Wilson came up with quite a few. But it just wasn't enough to outstand Jay County. Jay County was tall. I mean, they average, 5'10", 5'11", some 6-foot girls across the line continuously, and, we've got Kendall, who's our tallest one on our side, and we have Stella. So we just offensively couldn't finish. Defense was playing very hard. They got, I don't know how many digs. those girls got in that game, but I would say their stats were pretty high from that one.
I tell you, I've played volleyball recreationally, of course, and I tell you, you get those digs, that hurts.
It does. It can.
I don't understand how, people, it's like a header in soccer.
Yeah.
That hurts too if you hit it wrong.
Yep,
It can
it
give you a
does.
concussion.
And then you hit the ground. So after you dig the ball, you might actually hit the ground, so you get like the double whammy.
Yeah, but man, I tell you, that ball comes in there pretty hard.
It does, and those girls were hitting pretty hard.
There needs to be a Nerf. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know how that bounced off your arms very well, but that's okay.
It wouldn't at all. But I was watching, speaking of that, I was watching some great crazy plays that teams celebrated thinking that it was over.
Yep.
And there was a girl spiked it, and a girl dug it out, but it went very high and hit something. I didn't know this was legal. It hit something, and one of the girls saw it and came down and just tapped it over, and the other team was already celebrating.
As long as it's on your side, it hits on your side and comes back on your side, you can still finish out your 3 hits.
Yeah, as soon as it went up.
As long as it doesn't cross the center net.
Yeah,
yep. So if it hits on their side and comes back, then it would be considered a dead ball. But because it hit on their side and came back, they can still play that.
Yeah. And the other team turned around. They're all celebrating everything. And the girl was like, just tapped it over. It was hysterical.
Yep. Play until you hear a whistle,
Play
right?
until you hear a whistle. That's exactly what you should do.
Cross country was also, I'm not sure if you have information on that one, but cross country had their sectionals at Rushville on Saturday.
Okay.
The boys ran first, and then the girls. Hunter Bales and Axel Flum qualified to go to regionals at Shelbyville this Saturday. And then Adriana Markham was our single female runner that made it through to regional. So congratulations to those 3 kiddos. Regionals is a different beast. You see Carmel, you see Westfield, you see Noblesville, you see some of those schools from Indy that all they do is run all year long. So it's tough. It's a flat course. They're at Blue River. They're behind the Walmart at Shelbyville. Yeah. I believe, I haven't gotten information yet, but I believe they'll start running probably around 10.
How far do they run?
3.11.
3.11. So a little bit,
5K.
That's
around 5K.
Yeah. Yeah, I was trying to figure out my math. So
they take the 5. So the regionals the sectionals that feed into it. There's 5 different winners from each sectional. So you've got teams. And then you've got 15 individuals from each of those sectionals that weren't part of those teams. So you're taking. You're probably taking, 35, almost 50 runners from each sectional.
Wow.
Are moving on to that regional times probably 4 or 5 different regionals. So you're looking at close to 200 runners in the boys and 200 in the girls.
And they got to run the same course.
They run the same course. So the boys go. So the boys will start. And they have different starting blocks, so they kind of put you in blocks based on your seed times. Yeah. So the faster you ran at sectionals, the better box you'll get to run out of. But they'll do all the teams first, and then they usually put the individuals in their own little seed boxes. But there's probably 25 boxes across for the starting line, so it has to be a certain width. And then as they run, they kind of filter out. The beginning is very, compact because they're all starting. But then as they get past that first, half mile, they start tapering.
They start take the lead. It's amazing when you think of at least when I think of running, I always think of like track and field, but it's the same track. It's the same track everywhere. It's the same dimension. When you get cross country, it's a different track.
Every time.
Yeah, and different. The land is different, so that's got to be tough.
The terrain, absolutely, and depending on where you ran your sectional, your regional could be easier or harder. So, like when we used to host cross country sectional, everybody hated it because it was hard. It was a hard course. Yeah. Lots of hills, lots of different terrain. We go around the top. Yep. Yeah. But Rushville's a little flatter, so Rushville's going to be very similar to what Shelbyville course. But Shelbyville's is very flat. It's kind of out in the open of a park. Yeah. A lot of tall grass, but there's really not a lot of hills in that area for them. So you can see pretty far if you go over there. You could probably find a spot and watch kids a couple of different times instead of having to run from one point to the next like parents do.
Yeah, I could run.
Yeah. How parents do. They watch them start and then they run to the next point and then they try to run to another point. I don't think you could. There's a ton of people. There's a ton of people there. I don't think they'll let you drive your golf cart.
Well, I would see my kid just run and go, hey. See you when you come back, because I'm not going to be making it back.
Nice.
Yeah, it's crazy. We do have some film on the Spartan football game from Friday, so let's check that out. as the Spartans come on out. Last game of the regular season.
It's
not in the heart. That
yep.
game's in the archives, but the season's not. Spartans start off very strong. Nice passing game, nice play action pass, and this right here from Parker. Look at him. He's towing the line right there.
Yeah, he did.
He was towing the line, and we had great camera angle on that to get him where he was towing the line and got in there for the first score for the Spartans. And then, of course, that high snap kind of hurt us a lot. But that throw right there that was just beautiful. I mean,
connection to Coons.
Yeah, to Coons.
It's kind of nice because I think that's the first time this season we've scored 2 touchdowns in one quarter. So that was nice. That kind of gave a good spark there.
So at 13-9, we had missed again do the high snap on some PATs, and this right there to Parker again wide open. Just a nice quick toss to Parker from Ryland, and again he was feeling it. Ryland was.
Ryland played really well that first half. There was a lot of good connections.
Right there,
that was a Flanagan to Hunter Allen, which I didn't get to see him get in on that one because
they dropped him short a little bit. We wondered if he got in, but I think Ryland ran it in. But this is when it started getting interesting. They scored the first with less than almost a minute and a half to go, and then we kind of
stopped for a while.
Well, here we are. They got the ball to start the half, but they turned it over, and then we came right back and scored. So 33-6, we're feeling good. But boy, I tell you what, that kid right there, Small, he was he was unstoppable. I mean, look at these reps.
Yeah, he kind of took over the game.
Yeah, I mean, bulldozers our guys and gets
kind of like what Parker did to him in the first.
Yeah, that's right.
In the first quarter.
Yeah, because Parker did do that, and he's paying him back. And this touch pass right here, I was blocked by the. I was trying to look, and I got blocked by the windowsill.
Oh, gotcha.
And Clint saw it, and was like, he caught it. I couldn't believe it. Nice touch right there. But, again, they're breathing down our necks, and Ryland says, I'm going to take it in myself, and he dives in for the touchdown. Again, we've seen some of the Spartan teams in the past where another team kind of puts a little bit pressure on them.
Zane kicked that one off.
Yeah,
I didn't know who did. I knew it was somebody different, but I didn't realize it was Zane. Okay.
Yeah, and
that's funny. He almost had a touchdown, Zane did, at one point.
He did. And this is a lot of zigging and zagging, and this kid is gone. And we saw kind of a block in the back right there.
Kingston almost got him. I say Kingston almost got him.
Yeah, pushes him in.
That's the second time I've seen that this season with Kingston running somebody down.
Oh, he's so fast.
He is fast.
But the
Him
Spartans,
and Allen.
The Spartans did not falter at all as far as feeling the pressure from Batesville. When you build that big of a lead like that, 26-0.
Sure.
And the team starts coming back like that, it's kind of hard. You start playing panicky. You play not to lose.
Yeah, I was going to say at some point I think there was some playing not to lose because we knew they were coming back and they had changed some things and we didn't adjust as well to that change. And I think they scored a couple that we were kind of shocked that they did. Some great passes and connections, and we just weren't where we needed to be. And I think being able to hold that off and still be able to score and they listen. The boys listen to the coaches. I was kind of close enough to hear what the coaches were calling out and telling the boys what to do, and you could tell that they were listening on what was going on, which is exactly what needs to happen this time of year.
Yeah.
I mean, with sectionals, right around the corner.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got to be in it, and you got to be paying attention. You got to trust, and if you trust the process, and the process doesn't work for you, then you've at least done what you were told and instructed to do.
Yeah. One of the things that really shocked me about that game was there were a lot of penalties on both teams.
There were.
It was like, okay, there's a flag. Oh, there's another one. Oh, it's on both teams. And then there was the unsportsmanlike conduct. I know. Keller was called for one where he went and clotheslined a guy, which I don't think was intentional. It was more inadvertently when he tried to tackle the guy.
But unfortunately, intentional still gets flagged.
Yeah, you're gonna get flagged for it no matter what. But it seemed like both teams got called if
there were quite a few, and I mean, there's a lot of jawing going on down there, and that's a lot what people don't see up in the stands. Like they're mad about this flag. I know there was a fan from Batesville that I was watching quite a bit there towards the end because he was just running around and yelling things at the officials, and he'd go up and sit in the bleachers, and I don't think he was seeing exactly what all was going on. Like, I get it, we don't want people that close. And, and there's times that our coaches are sitting on the sideline, don't see what's going on. Like, I witnessed something right in front of me, and our coaches were jawing. I'm like, that happened. Like, it did happen. I saw him grab him, you know what I mean? And I saw them push, and all that kind of stuff. And I get it. You want to try to protect your kids, and you want to try to get that penalty away, but it's probably not going to happen. The chances of them taking the flag away once they throw it, probably not going to happen.
There was one time where Hunter was held when he was running a route. I mean, it was clear. I mean, you see his jersey pulled, and nothing was caught at all.
Sure.
And then Ryland goes right back to him, and there was a flag, and it was clearly not pass interference, but we'll take it. And, I mean, Clint and I were like, that's a makeup call.
Probably.
And I couldn't see across the field well, but what I did see, I didn't really see too many people complaining because I think they realized was makeup, which I don't think they should ever have makeup calls. I mean, if you blow a call, you blow a call.
No, they shouldn't. You blow a call, you take it, you move on.
Yeah, you move on. I mean, because we're human beings.
That's
we're going to miss
happen.
a call. Yeah, and it's like Parker was on that. I can probably see where somebody would think that he stepped out of bounds, but tiptoeing that line,
And he did it. He stayed in.
That was absolutely beautiful.
Yep, he stayed in.
So now that most of the winter sports are over and we're transitioning to fall break, couldn't come soon enough.
Well, fall break starts next week, but today starts girls basketball, girls swimming, and girls wrestling. So their first day
practices,
their first official day of practice starts today. And then the boys start after fall break on the 3rd. So we go from one sport to the next. So the teams that just finished, some of those girls might take a couple days off. Their coaches may allow them to take a couple days off before they come and try out. But, we roll from one to the next. We've got girls basketball starting. We got a scrimmage during fall break, I think it's during fall break, and then we've got one with their first games a week after.
Yeah, and I tell you, the excitement for this girls team is, I mean, you can always feel it.
I hope so, and I mean, I hope they play well. I mean, they have everybody but JC Wilhelm back. And then JC was hurt.
Right, yeah.
Unfortunately, she got hurt mid-season, and so she was out. So really the team that's coming back all were together last year. As long as they all show up, I don't know. Haven't heard that anybody wasn't playing.
Right.
But I know that the majority of all of them should be coming back this year and hopefully healthy. There's a couple injuries from volleyball season that'll carry over to basketball if those young ladies decide to play. So hopefully that they do. But hopefully they can get well and healthy and be ready to go. Girls wrestling, this is the first year that we're kind of starting a season with girls wrestling. So that's very exciting. We're anticipating between 6 to 8 girls
that's awesome.
Wrestling on that schedule. We're working on some meets with them.
Yeah.
And so right now they're practicing down at the middle school because the pool renovation project is still kind of carried over into that wrestling room, and it's making it kind of unsafe to be down there with the dust. So they're practicing at the middle school right now, and the boys will probably do the same thing when they start, at least until we can get some of that dust and that pool project done.
And when's that slated to be done?
Well, we were told it's supposed to be the 1st of December, which has pushed our first 2 meets either away or we've moved them. So I'm not sure. I'm really hoping that we're in there by middle of December. Just for the kids' sake. But right now they're practicing. Currently we're at Centerville, but after fall break we're going to start training at Richmond because they do have a single diving well. So you can still use 2 lanes of the pool, and then you can put the divers in that diving well. So it doesn't affect Richmond's practices as much either. So, we're looking forward to a great winter. Our fall sports program, we just changed the date. It was supposed to be the 3rd of November, but unfortunately that's a little too fast for us in our office to get stuff done. I still don't know all conference for soccer, for boys and girls soccer, for volleyball, for football, and tennis. So I still don't know who is all conference on those. So I kind of want to have that when we have that program. So we're going to wait until the 10th. I really don't need my people working over fall break either. They need a break. It's a long year. Sports don't stop.
And in the summertime, you guys don't stop either because you're preparing for the fall.
No, usually we don't. We're preparing for the fall. So, I mean, when I can get a chance to get my people not being in the office all the time, that is the plan. I mean, you met them last week, and they're great.
Great people.
They need a break. I need a break. Because again, winter starts.
Yeah.
Middle school basketball has already started. Girls, everything starts today.
Yeah.
So it's go time again. We get about a week before things start getting crazy again. So they need that time.
A week before things get crazy again.
Yeah, well, winter has more teams and it's longer. It's a longer season and they play more games. You know, each team can play, girls and boys can play 25 basketball games apiece. Wrestling has up to 18 matches and we host a Spartan Classic.
Yeah.
Swimming can host up to 18 or do 18. So there's not a whole lot of rest for the wicked, right? Or the weary. No. Rest for the weary, not the wicked.
Weary.
I'm thinking Halloween. Halloween.
It's Halloween season.
Yeah.
And you, obviously with winter sports, you don't have as much problem with the elements as you do with the outdoor sports.
Very true.
But you know, you do have like of snow and all that stuff that happens. Schools canceled.
And that's part of it too. The safety
Yeah.
of like, you know, if school's canceled, do we allow teams to practice? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. It just depends on a lot of factors.
Yeah.
The travel advisory, what level are we? Orange? Are we red? So that takes part in it. I wish it was easier. And I know some people get mad when we say, no, you can't practice. But, you know, you have teenage drivers out in the snow. Yeah. They're not adults. No. You as an adult have been driving for years. You're fine.
Right.
You put somebody who's gotten their license, never driven in the snow, and you're telling them they need to go to practice when their parents are working. Like, it's kind of scary.
Yeah.
As a parent, I don't know that I'd want my kid driving from where we live into town. And some coaches make it, you know, not a mandatory practice, and that's fine. But that's what I think about. So if I'm canceling stuff and I'm canceling practices, it's because I want kids to be safe.
Right.
You know, we canceled a basketball game to Greensburg last year because it was snowing and it was coming down almost an inch an hour. And I'm like, I don't want our bus driver with our kids out on the roads. And then what's it going to be when they come home? And then when they get back to the bowl, and they get in their cars and drive home, what's the roads going to be like? So a lot of things go into that, but it's not as bad as the fall and the spring with rain and storms and all that.
And we
stuff.
were able to make up that Greensburg game, so that
we played the next day. We moved
was it
it
next day.
No, you're right. It was a couple weeks later.
I thought it was a couple weeks later. Yeah,
and we had to because it was conference, but it was still one of those where I would rather caution on the safe side than send our kids out in the.
No, I would too, and I think as a parent, I think most parents will agree with you on that. That the safety of the kids are paramount and first and foremost when it comes to athletics, because again, we can always make up a game.
Absolutely. There's no game worth somebody wrecking in somebody's life. Not at all. Not doing it.
We're not going to be
I'll take the hit on that every single day. If you want me to get mad at me for canceling something, it's safety over that. I could,
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. So again, we have the winter sports coming up. Are you already preparing for spring? Are you jumping ahead to spring?
Well, yeah. So I've already worked on contracts from the fall. So trying to get next fall already locked in and see who we're playing.
Bypassing spring already in the next fall.
Well, most of spring is already set.
Yeah.
So it should be set by now. There's a couple of things that we're still tweaking and some things we need to add. And we had to change a couple of things with Memorial Day with it falling so early this year. It falls on like the 23rd.
Yeah.
So that threw a couple of things off. And then always having to make sure you don't have anything on prom and those kind of things. So spring should be pretty much set. And then, just kind of finishing the fall up. Preparing for winter. I know girls basketball, we're one game short now because Jay County overscheduled. So we're trying to find a replacement for that game. So hopefully we can find a home game. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah,
if we can be home in early November. Yeah. So instead of going to Jay County, maybe we can find somebody home that day.
That's a fur piece to drive anyway.
Yeah,
so
it is, but I mean, they're in our sectional, so you kind of want to see them.
Right, yeah,
so
that's true.
Kind of a catch-22 on that one. But we'll see what we can find. Shane and I have been working on that. And I'll probably be working on that this afternoon. But I think the last thing that we really have this fall that's kind of community related, though, is our track or treat. We're having that next Wednesday, the 29th at the track from 6 to 7:30. We encourage anybody in the community to come out, bring your kids. Come see our athletes. Our Student Athletic Council puts it on, and our athletes of all of our teams hopefully will be there and passing out candy and dressed. A lot of them dress up, so it's kind of funny.
A lot of them dress as their favorite Spartan.
Absolutely. So we would love to see anybody come out and enjoy that free community outing for our kiddos.
Yeah. So come on out.
Absolutely.
Track or treat on Wednesday.
Track or treat, Wednesday the 29th, 6 o'clock.
Yeah. And we won't be here next week because of fall break.
Correct.
So you enjoy your fall break.
You too.
I will be working. Anyway, until after fall break, you guys enjoy your fall break, and we'll catch you next time on the Spartan Sports Report.